Hey everyone, we're joining you from the Paris Blockchain Week. It's the third day we've been here and it's been busy. And I have Adam here from Liminal with me, and maybe Adam, I'll let you introduce yourself and introduce Liminal a little bit to the audience.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks, Mantis. Yeah, it has been a busy few days. You could probably see the tiredness on my face, but you got to get the most out of these events because they're so fantastic. So Liminal, I've been with Liminal for a couple of years now. We're an institutional custody provider based in Singapore. Liminal, it's a really cool company. We've been growing very fast over the last couple of years while I've been there. My role at Liminal is BDD for Europe and Americas. So I look after the European and North and South America regions. The interesting thing about Liminal, especially when I'm talking to people here in Europe, is that, we're a really big player in the Southeast Asia region. Right. So a lot of the exchanges across that region use our non-custodial wallet infrastructure to run their operations. So very large percentages of the cryptocurrency flowing around in countries like India and Indonesia goes through our wallet tech. But then here in Europe, when I introduce Liminal, it's not surprising. A lot of them have never heard of us. But that won't be like that for long because we're picking up customers here in Europe and in the Americas like very, very rapidly now. So it's a really exciting time for me personally because it's really nice to see that growth even in a bear market. Right. Now we're starting to come out of the bear market. It gets even more exciting because things are moving faster and faster and faster. Yeah. So Liminal, I guess one of the interesting things about us is we started life as a wallet infrastructure provider, like a wallet as a service. But, we felt very much that the marketplace is going to become more and more regulated. Right. And we wanted to become a highly regulated player. So we started that journey in the Middle East. And we got our ADGM custody license, a VARA license in Dubai. I have a license in Singapore coming through very soon. So as we start to see more of the institutional players within the marketplace kind of start to separate church and state and move their assets into a third-party custodian, this is where we've positioned ourselves very nicely ahead of that. So now we're diversifying. We have a lot of non-custodial wallet infrastructure customers, but we're also picking up a lot of full custodial customers as well.
Got it. So one thing that I notice at Paris Blockchain Week is that there's a lot of institutional interest in the event, and I think everyone's been talking about it in blockchain overall in the last couple of years. As a company who works directly with institutions, do you see that demand rising, and in what specific areas? How are institutions approaching these?
The fun thing about institutions are they're all different in terms of, what it is that they're trying to achieve and how they're trying to achieve it. And I think more importantly, their knowledge and experience specifically within Web3. Right. So what Liminal tries to do is provide a very, very kind of white glove hands-on service where every customer that comes to us, we try and understand their use case and provide a solution that fits their needs rather than just giving them what they want. Like sometimes somebody will come to us and they'll say, oh, I need MPC wallets so I can do X, Y, or Z. And rather than just go, yeah, we have MPC wallets within our infrastructure, of course, we can do this. We say, what is it that you're trying to achieve? Right. And then often we can look at the asset flow and how the tokens are moving in and out their ecosystem, and we can come up with a much more efficient way to service that use case. So there's a few things always we like to consider with our institutional clients is obviously security is extremely high. We want to make things as secure as possible. But when you're dealing with an institutional client that has a very high volume of transactions and a very high operational intensity, what we try and do is reduce that operational intensity down to a minimum. So we're automating as much as of the asset flow as possible. But to do that without compromising on security is, that is where the expertise comes in. So it's one of my favorite parts of the job because it's often people come with a specific expectation and we're able to exceed that, almost all the time. So it's fun. But with the institutional clients, I can speak mostly for Europe and Americas because they're the regions that I work with the most. And I think, one of the big changes that we saw in 2023 was, at the end of 22 and the beginning of 23, a lot of the banks, the traditional banks, were moving at, their normal glacial speed on Web3. They were starting to explore and look at what technology was out there, look at what players were in the marketplace. And then all of a sudden, like midway through the year, the banks stopped moving at their glacial speed and they started running, and they're really, now we see a lot of activity from banking, and people want to do all sorts of kind of different services with banks as well. So banking is a really interesting sector, and we're starting to see a lot of Web3 suppliers, trying to white label some of their solutions so that banks can kind of pick it up off the shelf and run with it. We also see a lot of banks trying to, build in-house. And I guess
interesting.
From a wallet perspective, one thing that we see quite frequently from institutional players is this mindset of, we can build this in-house ourselves. And then, when we explain to them the size of our dev team and the number of years that have gone into building this wallet infrastructure, it's a huge task, and that is just the people effort. There's also the cost of things like running nodes and stuff that they don't tend to consider. So we highly recommend, of course we're going to push them to outsource because it means using our tech, but we see their first reaction is we'll build it ourselves, and then when they realize the scale of what they're trying to do, then they come back and say, okay, we want to partner up with you guys. It's interesting, and I like working with institutional players within the industry because they also teach us a lot about, there are a lot of things we can learn from traditional finance as well, where these guys are, often very, very intelligent, very experienced, and in Web3, we're very innovative, we're very motivated, we want to move very, very quickly. And I think it's important that we do also learn as much from the traditional finance sector as well. So it's a cool marketplace to work within.
If we take out our crystal ball and look into the future, say 2030, what do you think Liminal looks like then?
Well, I love that question, and it immediately makes me think of our founder and CEO, Mahin Gupta. He's such an interesting guy, and he has certain phrases that he'll say, and they really kind of like inspire you, and they lock into your brain. And I've heard him say many times, if we look down the road into the future, Liminal is either going to be number one or we won't be there. That is the only option. It's one of those two paths. And of course, we're going to do everything we can do to be the number one player within the regulated custodian space and wallet infra, etc. How we get there is a different story. I mean, we're growing on a trajectory right now, which is very, very fast. And we've seen other wallet infrastructure providers. I can look at one across the room right now, but I'm not going to say who it is, who have grown very rapidly within this space. And that comes with its own difficulties, growing pains, maintaining the service levels that, you built the company on as it scales to that level is very, very hard. I think one big advantage that we do have is our founding team, and a lot of the team that have joined thereafter have come from some of Mahin's previous businesses. So we have a lot of experience within the company building exchanges and running them, particularly in the last bull market 4 years ago. And I remember Mahin once told me, we went from doing onboarding and doing KYC for 100 customers a day to doing 10,000 customers a day, overnight. And he has really good experience in scaling very, very quickly, and doing that at the pace that the market demands, not at the pace that's driven by us as a business. So we're in a really good position where the team knows how to scale, they know how to grow, they've done it before, and now we are scaling and growing. You know, everything that so far we've said this is how we think it's going to play out. It has done. So far everything's working to plan, and 2030 I would definitely
be there.
I would definitely be there, and I think we'll be at least not number one. We'll be up there in in the top 2, 3. You know, it's going to be an interesting journey for sure. But I believe in the company, I believe in the journey, and it's an exciting time to be part of it.
Who, where, what to follow if people want to get more info about what you do?
Awesome, yeah. I love that question because it gives me free rein to shill Liminal to its fullest. So we have a great team of business development directors spread around globally. One thing about Liminal is we're very product driven, we're very product led. We don't divert, large pieces of our resources towards like marketing and PR and running big events, and as you know what Paris Blockchain Week is like sharing champagne on boats and things like that. Like, we like to be very, I don't think frugal is the right word, but I think we like to be very cautious with how we distribute our assets. And being product driven, it means, people don't find us organically that easy. We rely on word of mouth a lot, and we rely on partnerships. We rely on our customers to have a great experience with us, and then to tell other people out there. And the good thing is that enables us to sell a fantastic product-driven product to our customers, and also at a very, very reasonable price as well, which has helped us grow in the bear market. But just because we're going into a bull market now doesn't mean we're just going to launch our prices up and hope for the best. We want to keep the strategy going. So I would say, the best way to find out more about Liminal, of course we have a website, but we're very people-driven business, and we have a lot of time for anybody who is interested. So reach out, contact me. I'd love to I do tons of online meetings, but I love to travel as well. I'm usually at just about every conference here in Europe, and often in the Americas as well. And my wider team are at all the conferences around the world. So I think the best way to learn about Liminal is to speak to us directly. Just reach out. Ask us the questions that you want to ask. We'll gladly show you our technology. We'll gladly, give you access to play around with it, test it, and things like that. And that's what we're proud of and what we love to do. So that's the best way to find out about it.
So you're okay with us leaving maybe your LinkedIn contact with the audience?
Please do. I'll share, LinkedIn, Telegram, whatever people are the most comfortable with, and. Especially if you're in a nice warm location with sunny skies and beaches, then invite me over and I'll come there in person and talk to you all day long.
Cool. Okay, well, thank you so much for letting us know a little bit more about Liminal. Definitely super interesting, and thank you guys for watching.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me here, and I look forward to enjoying the last day in Paris with you guys, and anybody else watching, I look forward to meeting you and telling you all about Liminal. Thank you.